All right, what's good, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Call It in the Ring, not just another wrestling podcast brought to you by the best new YouTube channel, Kingz TV. I am your host. Well, I'm one of your hosts, Ron the Don. I am the Don of Wrestling, and we're going to get into why I am the Don of Wrestling. And I'm joined by my co-host, Lord Thapheus, man, the
Kingz
casual fan.
TV.
He's going to tell you why he's the casual fan a lot more. You'll hear his takes. You'll hear my takes. We're going to break it down. And we're here to talk about Monday Night Raw live in Dallas, Texas. We weren't there, but they were there. Let's get into it. How you doing,
Let's
bro?
go. I'm good, man. How are you?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm good out here, man. Ready to talk about this night of Raw
Yes, sir.
on Netflix, man. And bro, that crowd was hot, man. They hit you with those Roman Reigns chants, which I know you love those chants. That Roman Reigns,
Yeah.
Roman Reigns.
You know the marks come out at night. The wrestling marks.
Marks come out at night.
Full
The marks
effect.
come out at night. I think we're showing our
sure.
age right there, bro. I'm showing my age. I know that for sure. So let's get into it. What do you think about this episode of Raw?
This episode of Raw was better than the last episode of Raw, which is not really saying a lot, but it's definitely a step up from the last show. So let's get into it.
Yeah, I thought this definitely felt like a go home show, like we're really getting ready for a PLE or pay-per-view or whatever you want to call it. That's what it felt like to me. There was a lot of good stories that was happening, and we were leading to, going into the pay-per-view, which I definitely appreciated that. So all right, let's get straight into it. We're gonna go with the first item is your guy Roman Reigns. He opens the show. Which I was very surprised by that, but I already saw that come up on WWE.com that he was teased to make an appearance and kick off Monday Night Raw. So, of course, they hit you with the repack of what happened last week with him coming in and helping the Usos win the match. The, what was it, the street fight? No, it was a tornado tag last week. Last week with the Vision and the Usos. Roman came in, helped out the Usos, but really, it looked like he was just there to help Jey. Not really Jimmy so much. You know what I'm saying? So here we go. Roman comes out with his long entrance. They doing the chants that you love so much. And then before Roman could even speak, here comes Bronson Reed and Paul Heyman. They come out to interrupt Roman Reigns. And then what I thought was really interesting is just the exchange and how Paul Heyman was calling Reed the most dangerous man Roman has ever faced. And it was really hinting on how Roman has never been on a stretch. He's never been stretchered out in a match. Now, I want to get your take on this because I know you just getting back into wrestling, but I felt like they were really trying to come at my intelligence like we were stupid because this is not the first time that Roman has been out on a stretcher before.
Really?
This is not the first time.
So when did it happen before?
So it happened before on the height of Braun Strowman. When Braun Strowman was at his height, when he was on that, I'm not finished with you yet stuff. Like, I'm not finished with you yet. They had an ambulance match. And Strowman put Roman in the ambulance on a stretcher and tipped over the stretcher.
Okay.
That happened.
Okay.
So when they were putting so much emphasis on that, I was like, you think we're slow? Like, I mean, I get it. They're trying to appease to the people that don't watch the episodes or don't watch Raw as much and more casual. But for the people that do,
because I didn't know that.
Yeah, like you.
Again, for the fans, stopped watching wrestling around 2011, 2010. So I missed a lot of this era. I missed Roman Reigns and his whole reign. So I don't really have the history to know that what you just mentioned. So that's good to know.
Well, to be honest, Roman was pretty stale back in because Roman, they were really trying to shove Roman down everybody's throats.
Yeah. I remember that.
It wasn't until Roman turned heel, went away, turned heel, and came back during the pandemic time that people really gravitated more to Roman. Yeah. I mean, before that, he was pretty stale.
When I stopped, he was stale from 2010 all the way to 2020. And that's when he
Yeah.
really started to get the acceptance from the fans. Yeah.
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 When he turned heel, that's when
Yeah.
he got the acceptance, which is, it just goes to show you, like, sometimes you just need a fresh coat of paint. Sometimes you
Mhm.
just need a different, a different angle, or just a different situation
Yep.
that can get you over, versus you doing the same thing over and over and over and
Hey,
over again. It's
it
not
worked for
working.
his cousin. The same thing with The
Well,
Rock.
yeah.
The
Oh,
Rock
yeah,
came out
absolutely.
as the happy-go-lucky guy when he first started, and people didn't like
Yep.
it, and then as soon as he turned heel, that's when he really started to shine,
Yeah,
and then he was able to
they didn't
turn
like
face.
Maivia. Rocky
No,
Maivia was not
no, too happy, too colorful, he was
too
smiling, he just was
smiley.
too
Yeah,
much.
too
It's
much,
too
too
much, yeah.
much. 100%.
That time, I know we're going way off course, we're supposed to be talking about Raw, but that time was kind of a shift in wrestling where people didn't like the old school face, the say your prayers,
Yeah,
eat your vitamins, the happy-go-lucky face, the, you know, kiss the babies, catering to the kids. They didn't like that kind of face anymore. So
yeah.
it was a shift. So it's
No, I
still like
agree.
that to this day. It's hard to be a goody two shoes face in this era. You have to have some edge about you for people to really gravitate towards you. So that's
It's
why
because it's
he's
not
winning.
relatable. It's not relatable. It's not realistic, and it's not relatable, because
Yep.
that's not how life is. You're not always going to be that good person. Somebody's gonna come
Mm-hmm.
along and piss you off and
Yep.
makes you wanna do do what you gotta do. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So, yeah, yeah. And I was one of those guys where I was not feeling Rocky Maivia. It wasn't until he got down with the Nation when I was
Yeah.
like, "Okay, I'm with this Rock now." I
Right.
like this. This is what's up. So I feel you 100%. So okay, so we get into the exchange between Reed. I like how Paul was really hammering down, like, this guy is dangerous to Roman, which I get it. The other thing that I didn't like about this too is how, did you notice how they did not talk about how Roman beat Bronson Reed at Clash in Paris? They mostly talked about the end of the match, of
Mm.
the beatdown. Roman won that match.
Right.
He won that match. Remember, he got his shoes back. He signed the shoes off. He threw them into the crowd, and I think that's where Bronson Reed attacked him, and Braun Breaker. They both attacked him, but it was Bronson Reed that hit Roman with all those tsunamis, and that's why he got stretchered out and all that stuff. So it was interesting how they played more into they talked about more of the after the match and not the actual match, which I
Mm-hmm.
thought was interesting. And they really emphasized stretcher, which, to be honest, I thought this was going to turn into a stretcher match or even an ambulance match. But when they just said, "Oh, it's going to be an Australian street fight," I was like, "What?"
And what does that even mean? Have they had that before in this
Look,
era?
what they've been doing with lately is that they just be putting whatever city or whatever area and then put street fight. It's just a no disqualification match, or really just a hardcore match. But it
So
seems like
why didn't they
nowadays,
explain that? That's the problem I have. Like they say there's this Australian death match or whatever they calling it.
yeah,
Why didn't they explain what that is? Is that no holds barred? Is that no counts fall everywhere? Is that what is it?
you would think they would explain it, but
Yeah.
that's a very good
They just
question. I
they
don't know
just threw it
why.
out there like we're supposed to know what that means. Like it's happened
Exactly.
before.
It
So
hasn't. That's the thing. It
yeah.
hasn't. And they played
That's
it in
terrible
like,
promotion, by the way.
agreed.
Terrible promotion. Like, how am I
It was
supposed
it
to be
wasn't
invested
good.
in something you throwing it out there as this type of match, and I don't even know what type of match that is?
Yeah. It's like they put more emphasis on it's a street fight. Like, it's like you're trying to cater to the casuals, but then you're also leave it kind of open-ended, because if you've never seen a street fight before, you're thinking like, okay, so what type of match is this? Is this like, is there going to be weapons? Like, what is this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And then they put the Australian part. Is this like a
right.
specific type of match?
Exactly.
Like,
The street
it was
fight
kind of,
part is cool to me. The street fight
yeah,
part is, not, self-explanatory, but the
yeah.
Australian version of this, what does that mean?
We don't know what we're
It's
going
gonna
to
be
get, baby. We
kangaroos
don't
out
know.
there? Like, what's gonna happen in this match?
It's going it's gonna be Foster's beer and kangaroos.
It's gonna happen underneath the ring, down under? Like, what's gonna happen in this
Yeah.
match? I don't get it.
It's similar to, like, when they did Sheamus and Rusev with the Donnybrook match. I was
Mhm.
like, "I don't know what that is. Like, what is that?" But I figured it was just gonna be a glorified street fight, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, that's kinda what this is, which I don't understand the whole street fight thing. It feels like they're trying to protect Reed in a way if they're going to give him a loss, which and we could just talk about it now. I don't think Reed should lose. I think this
He
is his
can't.
match to win.
He
Huh?
can't. He can't lose
No.
twice. No.
No.
No, no, no.
No. And if they book him to lose twice, why do the match? Because I
Yeah,
mean,
he can't. That'll be career
that wouldn't be good.
suicide for him to lose twice.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no way because that's why I thought it was weird how they didn't really talk about Roman beating him. So that's I'm like, are they gonna really make Bronson Reed lose twice? I'm like,
Mhm.
yes, it's good that he's getting a match with Roman because Roman is a top guy. He's a main eventer. But if Roman is about to be out soon, he should be putting people over. And
Yeah.
this would be the way to put Bronson Reed over to
Yeah.
have him beat Roman.
Yeah. I agree.
I,
I agree. We'll see how it goes. I think he's gonna win. I mean, they're not gonna let this new talent that they're trying to push and make a star lose twice. That doesn't make sense. I don't even
they
think
shouldn't.
they're that bad. I mean, they're bad. They're terrible
Brendan, they
actually,
shouldn't.
but they're not that bad. I
They
think they're gonna
shouldn't,
make him win.
but it's WWE, man. They be doing
Yeah.
weird stuff, man. They be making some odd booking
Yeah.
decisions, man. So we don't know. But my prediction is that Bronson Reed will beat Roman Reigns.
Mhm.
That's my prediction
Yeah. With help,
for
of
Crown
course,
Jewel.
because he's a heel, but
Well,
he's gonna win.
we know with help. We know with help.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
Was as
right.
far as him, I think he's getting some good heat from the crowd.
Oh yeah.
I think he needs to work on his mic skills. And then the whole Paul Heyman did a lot of the talking in the beginning.
Yeah.
And I think the Paul Heyman valet is starting to get a little old.
You think so?
Yeah. Paul Heyman doesn't have that oomph like he used to have. You know what I mean? He's not really helping to put over talent like he used to back in the day, in the CM Punk days and the Brock Lesnar days. This era, I mean, he's just going from person to person, and I don't think it's not working as well as it used to. You know what I mean?
Disagree, man,
Yeah.
because there's another segment that we're gonna talk about later on that
Yeah.
I think would show how valuable Paul Heyman is. I just feel like
And I'm only talking about
it's
for the new. I mean, Seth is already a star. I'm talking about for the
yeah.
people that are trying to become stars, like the Bronson Reed. This is his
Mhm.
moment, right? They got him out there with Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman is his mouthpiece. Paul Heyman is his advocate. They're trying to use that same old play that they used on many other people before him. And I just
Sure.
don't think it's going to work every single time. Just because Paul Heyman is your valet is not going to make you a star. That's my
Well, you know what? Well, to your point, yes, that is correct because look how Paul Heyman has had, there have been other Paul Heyman guys and they didn't do very
right.
well. I mean, the
Right.
only people that really benefit from Paul Heyman was like a CM Punk, of course a Roman Reigns, and of course a Brock Lesnar. Those are
Hmm.
your three guys cuz like the
Yeah.
other guys that he was with, like was it
Axel, wasn't he with
Yep.
Axel?
Yeah. Yes.
That was
Yes.
terrible.
That was not good.
That did not work.
Curtis Axel.
You can't just stick Paul Heyman with everybody and think that they're gonna become a
No.
star. No, it doesn't
No,
work that way.
100%.
So
No, it does not work. You have to bring
yeah,
something to the table. Yeah,
right.
Curtis Axel was a, Paul Heyman guy. Um, I don't think Jack Swagger was. I think Ryback was, and that didn't work out either.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I 100% agree with you. You can't just put everybody with Paul Heyman. You would think that they could be. I think if Paul Heyman does side with anybody, I think Braun Breaker would be a good Paul Heyman guy. I mean, technically he is right now, but let's just say if Paul breaks away from Seth and everybody and chooses somebody and he chooses somebody like Braun Breaker, I think that would be a good pairing with those two.
Hmm.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens. That's a good point about Paul.
And I will say this. That Superman punch, they need
Yeah.
to come on now. They need to stop
Yo,
doing that. That is the
it was
worst
garbage.
move in wrestling history.
Yo, it
That
just he
is,
didn't even.
caption this, that the Superman punch is the worst move in the history of wrestling. I said it.
So I think if it's well, you know what? There
It's
is another wrestler that does it. There's another wrestler that does it in AEW. Is Orange Cassidy. He calls it the Orange Punch, and his looks better than Roman's. And I think also it has to do with camera angle because that camera was right on there, and he whiffed.
terrible.
He didn't even connect.
Didn't even
I wasn't even
connect.
gonna bring it up. He didn't
Didn't even
connect at all.
connect.
He didn't connect at all.
Didn't even connect. And
I
you know
didn't
what's
think you
not too
saw
far
that.
behind while we're talking about whack finishing moves? That curb
What's that?
stomp.
Well, the setup
needs to
isn't
go.
great because because the setup, you see them getting up on all fours, and then, he does it.
And he's
So,
not even
yeah.
connecting all the way to make it look real. You know, when Randy Orton used to do the punt, I don't even think he does
Oh, yeah.
it like he used to. That was,
Can't.
to me, that
Yeah,
was
that was a
the curb stomp of back in the day. He used to
Yeah,
really
'cause
connect with that.
he made it seem like he was hitting you with your foot, but really, I think it was like his shin or something like that
Yeah.
was connecting with your jaw.
Yeah, for real. Your forehead, your jaw, whatever was in the way, he was
Yeah.
really connecting with that. Yeah, get
Yeah.
rid of that Superman punch, get rid of that curb stomp, man. They
Okay,
just
so
don't
but
look real.
if Roman gets rid of the Superman punch, what does he have left? All he has is
Yes.
the spear, and too
He has
many
a
wrestlers are
spear.
doing the spear. Everybody's doing the spear.
He doesn't have anything else other than the spear and the Superman
That's
punch? I
it.
thought he had another move.
He had he has a submission now that was it that guillotine submission that he breaks. He doesn't even break it out all the time, but that's really the only like big moves that he has. And I feel like
Well.
the spear is overused now. It's just like how the super kick. The super kick, we used to take people out, like, when Shawn Michaels had the super kick. Now everybody's doing a super kick.
Yeah, they ruined the super kick, bro.
It's a setup move now. It's not a finisher like it used to be.
That was a finisher. It was lights out. It was
That's
lights
it.
out. There was nothing else. That's the end of the match.
Yep.
Now you can get hit with 7 super kicks in a match and kick out of all of them.
Yeah.
It means nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
They
a setup move.
protected
It's just
moves more back in the day.
Oh, yeah. It's just
Yeah.
it's just a move. It's not a finishing move anymore. It's just a move.
Yeah.
And that's what the Superman punch is. It's just a move.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So next we have a backstage segment with Asuka and Kyrie, the Kabuki Warriors. Of course, they're going to be facing Rhea and Io Sky at Crown Jewel. Asuka books Kyrie Sane with a match with Io Sky for tonight. Kyrie tries to talk to Asuka,
You say
saying that
she
she could
booked
try
the
to
match?
Huh?
You say she booked the match?
She didn't book the match?
I'm just saying that we've been talking about that the last few weeks. These wrestlers are booking matches. Go ahead. It's just.
Did you not see her book the match with Adam Pearce? Did she?
We have no other plans for tonight. We have no matches on the schedule tonight. We could just book them backstage on the night of Raw.
Virgin, it made Adam Pearce look trash. She just suggested a match, and he said, "Yeah, let's do it."
Yeah, every week, every single week, it's like 2 or 3 matches get booked on the spot.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's just like, let's do it. Why not? So, of course, Kyrie is conflicted. She doesn't want to have the match with Io. She feels like, she can get her back in the family. Asuka slapped the crap out of Kyrie, and she's like, "Yo, you better win. You better win that match." So, I still think this is good. I like what they're doing with Asuka and Kyrie as far as their dynamic really kind of playing up to the whole, mentor and student, and you really feel for Kyrie that she's in like an abusive relationship, really. So it just seems like eventually, not now, but down the line, that Kyrie most likely is going to turn on Asuka and kind of, stand up for herself. And that's going to be a big, babyface thing for Kyrie Sane. So what did you think?
I like that this story is finally starting to move forward into something because they kind of dragged it along for a very long time where Asuka's having a match. She's telling the Kabuki Warriors, don't come out and help me. It just is like the same thing over and over again for like, seems like 2 months now where she's like, oh, don't help me. They come out and help her. She's mad at them. The next time they don't help her, Rhea comes out. They're mad at the fact that Rhea was allowed to help her, but they weren't. And it was just like on and on and on and on and on. It just finally seems like they're trying to get somewhere with this story, which is refreshing. I like Kyrie, how she was like, hey, this is family. You know, I don't want to have a match with her. I want to try to reconcile. And Asuka's like,
Yeah.
nah, get out there. She slapped her, and so
Do what I
that
tell
was
you to
pretty
do.
cool.
Do what
Yeah,
I say.
it shows a dynamic in the Kabuki Warriors that there's she's running it.
She's running the show.
So
She's
yeah,
running the show. She's in charge.
I thought that segment wasn't too bad. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it's when you give they're all mid carders to me, so they're all trying their best to entertain and follow this storyline. So the battle of the mid carders begins. It continues, I should say.
Hey man, at least not even saying at least, but they're putting them on TV. They're giving them a story. You know, I get where you feel like they're mid carders. I mean, they are technically in that slot because they're not going for the women's title. So yes, they are in the mid card slot, but they're being utilized. You see them on TV. They're in matches. They have a story. So more eyes are able to see these women perform, which is great. All right, let's get into the next segment, which I have issues with. I want to see what your take is on it. This was the first match of the night, really. Becky Lynch versus Maxine Dupree. Now, I've been listening to a few podcasts and you know, a few other podcasts, and people been, you know, ranting and raving about this match on how this is a good match and everything. I did not like this match. I didn't like it. The reason why I did not like it, because commentary was getting on my nerves because they kept hyping Maxine up saying like she's training harder than ever. And I was like, where's she been training at? Have we seen it? Have we seen her in any matches leading to her facing Becky? The last time we saw Maxine Dupree, she lost to Becky Lynch in was like under 5 minutes. It probably was less than that. It was a nothing match with Becky. And that was to further a feud with Nikki Bella, which turned into a match that Becky later had on with Natalya. So when commentary is trying to put off like, oh, she looks so good, she's been training so hard, and I'm like, show it to me. I haven't seen anything from Maxine showing that she's been training harder than ever and she's been really putting in the work. I haven't seen any of that. No matches. She haven't had no matches to show she's getting better. That would have been a better story to show me. Like, okay, she's in matches. She's facing this person. She beat this person. She's beat this other person. Now she can finally come back and face Becky Lynch, the person that she lost to in under 5 minutes. Now I could show like, okay, I've been working my way up to face the, you know, this force of Becky Lynch. But they didn't show none of that. Now, granted, it was a decent match, but I felt like Maxine got way too much offense in my opinion, and it just felt like the fans just wanted to see Becky lose. That's just what I thought. What did you think?
Mid carders masquerading as stars.
Say more.
That's
Say
pretty
more.
much it. I mean,
no more.
There's no everything that you pointed out is correct. It's on point. There is no story. So we saw them have a match. What was that? A month ago?
Yeah, it was like a month or so ago.
It was a minute ago. There was some time there. And now they're trying to sell her as somebody that has been working hard. But we didn't see the viewer, the audience, we didn't see her working hard. We didn't see her in other matches. We didn't see her getting defeated, having wins, having close calls with other people, getting better slowly but surely, winning over the fans. We just see her again, and she's in this match, and the commentators are trying to put her over desperately. And we're supposed to buy it, but we don't. So
no. Well, the crowd did, which I know you already have issues with the crowd anyway.
The
crowd was buying it.
I ignore those people. They're there to just cheer at everything, bro. They don't know. I don't.
My God.
Hey, I know when we go to our first wrestling event together, I know those fans are gonna have smoke with me.
yo, they're gonna have some smoke with you,
like,
man.
You calling us marks? No, but they're marks. Those wrestling fans, they cheer for everything, bro. They don't. I don't even pay attention.
They do. I mean, but they did give the match. The match was decent. It wasn't terrible because you can kind of see that she was working hard. Like as far as Maxine, the wrestler, she was doing a good job holding her own. Not all the moves landed. It was a little wonky in certain areas, but it would have been nice to give her more of a story to make me believe that, she could actually potentially beat Becky. They didn't
Right.
give me that. And that's
Right.
where I disconnected from the match.
And on a positive note, she looks good. Her ring gear, her
Yeah,
presentation
she looks
looks good.
great.
She has potential. It's just there's no connection there, you know?
No.
So,
And you could make her into a new star if you would just put some stock into her and give me a reason to cheer for her. That was my issue. It's
mhm,
like, give me a reason to cheer for her. Show me she's been doing all the work. You're
right.
having all these matches, coming close to beating these other people. And then now she's at the point where, you know what? I'm going to challenge Becky Lynch. I don't want these matches. I'm going to challenge her and I'm going to take that Intercontinental title from her. That is what I'd want to see. And then we get into the end of the match, which I thought was trash
Yeah, that
because you
was
can you could see Becky Lynch was stalling for time. You
yeah.
could see it. What would have been better is if AJ Lee would have came out and caused a distraction to Becky, or if she was just in the crowd and then Becky was just talking smack to AJ, and then that distracted her, and that's how she got the count out win.
AJ
That
ain't
would have
coming
been
back.
better.
They're gonna have AJ
Huh?
gone for a while so they can get another cheap pop when she comes back.
Oh yeah. You
Yeah,
know what's gonna
that's all it's
happen.
about.
You
They
know,
have
you
no
know, you know
story
what's
for
gonna happen.
her. They have no matches for her. They have no plan for her. They just say, "Oh, just stay off TV for a few weeks, and when you come
Yeah.
back, you get a big pop." That's it. And you have faith in them. You think that AJ is gonna have a great run. I don't think she's gonna have a great run at all. They're gonna mess this up like they mess everything else up.
I
But
think she'll
as
have
far
a
as
I think
Becky,
yeah.
I like how they both. Well, no, actually, let me take that back. I don't. I'm kind of on the fence. They both tried to cheat to win.
Yeah.
And the old school in me is like the face should never take that route. The face should
Yeah.
always try to be upstanding and try to get a clean win. Maxine put her feet on those ropes. Becky grabbed her tights. They both tried to get
Yeah.
some slick wins in there, which was
Yeah.
cool. You know, it was entertaining, but I'm kind of on the fence. And what do you think about that? I think that the face, unless it's a face with edge, like Eddie Guerrero. He was a
Yeah.
great face where he was a face, but he also had the moniker lie, cheat, and steal. So
Yeah.
he could get away with that kind of stuff, right? As a face. But this young lady, I don't know if I want to see her trying to cheat to win. I want to see her just taking the high road and winning the honest way. And let Becky be the heel and let Becky be the cheater.
Yeah. No, I'm with you 100% on that. The reason why so I will say this, within this match, they were definitely telling a story in there
Mm-hmm.
where, you know, Maxine just wanted to prove that she could beat Becky. So
Yeah.
in that story during the match, it just looked like she was just trying to get a win at in any way she could because there was
Mm-hmm.
so many near falls.
Yep.
She was just like, "Yo, I just got to do something." So it was like, if I gotta fight dirty and cheat a little bit to get a win, I'm gonna do that. And
Yeah.
that's what I got from that. But to your point, yes, a face should win clean. You shouldn't be trying to cheat to win if you are a true babyface. But as we see, who really is a true babyface at this point? Everybody has it's like they're trying to make everybody tweeners.
John Cena.
That's just what it yeah, well, yeah, we gonna talk about that. But yeah, we gonna talk more about that. But I mean, overall, decent match. I like how they gave them time. I still think they gave Maxine way too much offense in this match. I did not like the ending with the count out. If you're just gonna give her, if you're gonna give Maxine a win, give her a win, give her a pin, like give her a roll.
Mhm.
If you're gonna do a roll up, give her a roll up. That count out was garbage.
Yeah, it's insulting
I didn't like it.
because Becky is a vet, right? So she should know that you only have a few more seconds left. And I know that the ref kind of pulled one on her because the ref was in her feelings. The ref kind of counted.
Yep.
She got to like 7 or
Yep.
6, and she was like 7, 8, 9. It's
Yeah.
like she kind of sped it up a little bit, but I don't know. That wasn't the best ending. It could have been executed better, I guess.
Could have been better.
Yeah.
Give Maxine a roll up win. It could have been like she's distracted or the referee, whatever, and Maxine could have got the roll up, and it just was like she just got the roll up and got the win.
Hmm.
Like, it just happened. But that count out stuff, it was just like my issue is that you saw Becky wasting time. Was my issue. You saw
Yeah.
her wasting time.
Yeah.
It's not like she was talking to anybody directly in the crowd. She was just talking crap
Yeah.
to the crowd, building it up. And I was like, what are you
Yeah.
doing? But
it seemed choreographed. Like a lot of the stuff, seems choreographed. A lot of the matches. So
well, okay. So now we'll move on from that and we'll talk about backstage again with Roman and the Usos. So
Mhm.
both Usos are trying to tell Roman that they got his back at his match with Crown Jewel, but Jay is like, "No, I got your back." Basically saying like, "I don't know what Jimmy talking about, but I got your back." And then of course Roman is telling Jay that, "Look, that's not what we talked about. Focus on your opportunities. Like who's at the top of the hour, the next hour at CM Punk. Go handle your business." And then I did like with the exchange between Roman and Jimmy was like, look, I see everything that's Jim. You know, Jimmy had to kind of hem up. Roman was like, look, just like how you say you see everything that's going on, I also see what's going on. Like your influence, I'm not feeling your influence on Jay. And Roman is just like, look, ever since he won the title, he's been more like me than you think. So you should probably be trying to help him get his world title back versus these tag team titles, which I thought was interesting. What you thought?
no, I thought it was a decent segment. I
Yeah.
like how when Roman walked up on them, he walked past Jimmy and dapped up Jay first, even though Jimmy was closer to him.
Yep, I saw that.
And
I
then he
peeped that
came
too.
and dapped up Jimmy. I thought
Yeah,
that
he
this
did.
the little nuances in there that, oh wow, that's interesting.
Yep.
So I like that you can see um a different caliber of performance when certain people are around. Like the Usos are more tolerable now because Roman is there. Roman really carries the storyline. He carries this movement. They kind of need him. It's sad to say because they've needed him for a long time, and I
Yeah.
think they do well on their own, but it's a different level when they're with him. So you can
Yeah.
tell the difference right away.
I mean, because Roman is a top guy, period. No matter
Yeah,
what
he's a
he
star.
does, he's a top guy. Yeah, he
Remember
is
we
a
were
star.
talking about last week, and I was saying they don't have any stars.
Yeah.
They don't have any stars, so they need someone like him to come back and raise the bar, help to raise the bar.
Yeah.
So, and you can see right away that it's making a difference, but the
Yeah.
backstage vignettes and all this. So, yeah, I like the storyline that they're fleshing out. We'll see how this dynamic between Roman, Jimmy, and Jay plays out. But so
Yeah.
far, I'm interested, which is
Yeah.
not common, not the norm. But I'm actually interested in this one.
And I think also, which I think we talked about this before, but I think this is doing a lot for Jimmy too, because before that, Jimmy was floundering on SmackDown. He wasn't doing
Hmm.
much. It wasn't
Yeah.
until he came over to Raw, got back with his brother, getting back with Roman, that he actually has a story that he can, kind of sink his teeth into,
Yeah.
because it looks like, Jimmy wants Jay to focus on them being a tag team. Not really getting the tag team titles because they really didn't talk about the tag team titles yet, but mostly be a tag team. And Jay is like, "Yo, I'm trying to get my title back, bro.
Hmm.
Like I love you, bro, but I'm trying to get my title back."
Yeah.
So I think that's real interesting. So I'm gonna let it play out. I'm gonna let it play out with these
Yeah.
guys.
We'll see. Yep.
Yeah, we'll see. All right. The next item is Lyra Valkyria versus Roxanne Perez with Bailey in Lyra's corner. So we talked about this last time and they gotta do something with this Bailey stuff, man. They gotta figure out what I mean for real, they gotta figure
Hmm.
out what they're gonna do with Bailey, which direction they're gonna go. Yes, it's a split personality thing, but they gotta figure this out. They gotta
Yeah.
figure it out. It's too much limbo. We don't know which Bailey. Lyra's trying to do some sort of acting, which is not really that great, to be honest. But
Hmm.
but we got to figure out what we're doing with Bailey. Is Bailey gonna be this hugger character, or Bailey's gonna be, the role model, be more of a heelish character? Which one are we gonna get? We got to figure it out. And
Hmm.
we gotta get these ladies mixing up with some other women. They make it seem like there's no women on this show. Like, how many times is Lyra gonna face Roxanne Perez? And she's a phenomenal wrestler because they had a great match. It was a great match because Roxanne is a beast. I love when she wrestles, but we gotta mix her up with some other ladies, man. We gotta mix her up with some other women, bro. It's other women on the show. We gotta get her fighting some other folks. But what did you think? What's your take?
Mid Carters masquerading as stars.
Oh my
That is
God,
the
here we
theme.
go.
That is the theme of Monday Night Raw. I think I agree with you. These women, they have good matches.
Yeah.
they're struggling in that they don't have good characters.
No.
That's where they're
And they could.
struggling. It's not the
And they
matches.
could.
It's because they're athletic. They look good. They know
Yeah.
how to call it in the ring, if you will. But they're not connecting on the star level. And that's what WWE is missing today. They're not creating stars. So yeah, every week we're gonna see these same women go out there and have these matches, which are decent matches, but
Yeah.
it's a match without real connection is kind of like a snooze fest for the
Yeah.
casual fan. You know, it's like nobody wants to see a match. Why are they
No.
fighting? What's going on? You know,
It needs to lead to something. It needs to be
needs to
something
lead
at
to
the end
or yeah,
or
lead to something and come
yep.
from somewhere. Like there has to be
Yep.
depth, and that's what they're missing. You know,
Yeah.
so
Now, it did look like we're getting to go to somewhere with Bailey and Lyra. It looks like they're going to have a match at I don't know if it's going to be a match at a Crown Jewel, but it looked like it's turning into something
hmm
because was it Roxanne got the win. So it's interesting how when Roxanne or Raquel have a match, it's either or of them wins. It'll be like
hmm
it'd be like Raquel loses the week before and then Roxanne will win the next week or vice versa. They'll switch it
hmm
up, switch it up on there. So at the end of the match, of course there was a distraction. Raquel calls it a distraction. I know Bailey gets hit by Roxanne. Roxanne jumps back in the ring and wins with her move, the Pop Rocks. And then of course it looks like Bailey changed personalities again. They storm off with Lyra. There's a whole backstage exchange, and we'll talk. We'll just talk about the backstage segment
hmm
because it kind of ties in.
yeah,
So, they're off so one thing I will say about some of these backstage segments that I like how they make it, they don't always just isolate things. Like there's things going on all around the backstage, which makes it
hmm
look like, okay, this is a show. Things are happening. It's not just one thing happening back here and then, another thing is happening. So I like how there was already a backstage segment going on. I think it was the Penta. It was AJ Styles and Dragon Lee talking to Penta as far as getting them on board with their match. And then it cut to Bailey and Lyra pretty much beating up Raquel. And then Roxanne jumping in, and then Adam Pearce kind of breaking them apart. Which I like that. So, looks like that's leading into some sort of match between these two teams. We'll see what happens with that. What did you take on that backstage brawl?
it's the same as the match in the ring. It's I'm just ready for a good story.
Hmm.
I'm not excited about a bunch of mid carders with no story fighting in the ring or in the back or in the parking lot.
Yeah.
It's the same thing to me.
Yeah, you gotta give them like I feel like it has to be a blood feud with a story or they're fighting towards something. Like if they're gonna be tag teams, why are we not talking about the women's tag team titles? Like no one's talking about the titles. No
hmm
one's talking about, hey, I wanna go against Becky and get that Intercontinental title. Or hey, I wanna face Stephanie Vacura for the women's title. Nobody's
hmm
talking about titles. And I know everything's not
Honestly,
about titles, but we gotta be fighting for something.
honestly, I feel like um, a lot of these matches are put together. A lot of these wrestlers are kind of thrown out there because they're just space fillers. They don't
Yeah.
have a real plan for them. Hey, we need our main slots are Roman Reigns, that storyline with the Usos and the Vision, or CM Punk and LA Knight. That's our main storyline right there between those guys. And we're just going to add these space fillers in the middle because we really don't have much for them. They're doing a better job with the Kabuki Warriors storyline and Rhea Ripley, that whole thing. But
Yep.
everything else is kind of like, hey, let's just throw these people out there because we got to fill 2 hours, 2.5 hours of content. So
Yeah.
just throw them out there. We'll figure it out later on. So, and it feels like that when you're watching it. It's like, what is
Yeah.
this even about? And it's sad because I like Roxanne Perez. I think she's actually a standout
She's
in
a
the ring.
she's a beast. Yes.
Yeah.
She's
So
great.
she needs to talk more. She needs to get out in the ring. She doesn't need to be in the opening segment or anything because she's not there yet, but she needs to be out in the ring. Instead of having a bunch of matches, She needs to go out there with a mic in her hand.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's see her
In the middle
personality.
of
Yeah.
right, yeah, that's what they
Yeah.
need. Her and Raquel Rodriguez. I like both of them together as well. They look good
They're great.
together. They complement
Yes.
each other very well. They need to get out there with a mic, but they
Yeah.
focus so much on the opening segment where whoever the top star is goes out there at the beginning of
Yep.
the segment, and then everything is just matches, 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 main event.
Yeah.
Or they
Yeah.
might have like CM Punk came out at the top of the 9 o'clock hour, right? Or was it 9 o'clock? Yeah.
Yeah, it
So
was 9 o'clock.
they have the kickoff hour, and then they have the second, that second segment. But
Yep.
those ladies need to be out there for that second segment as well to get them on the mic and get them over, and that's gonna help them with their matches and their overall performances. So
Yeah.
especially
100%.
those two,
I
because
can't.
I really like those two.
Yo, Raquel, I've been saying this from before. She's improved greatly. She's been killing it in the ring. And then I already knew Roxanne from before, from her time at NXT. I knew she was gonna be great coming up to the main roster because she was already a beast in NXT. But they just got to give they just got to give her something that she could really sink her teeth into. I thought that was going to play in with her being a part of the Judgment Day, but it looks like with when Liv Morgan got hurt, they kind of just scrapped whatever plans that they had for her with the Judgment Day dynamic, and then they're just putting in her matches, which we both agree great matches, but we got to do more with her. She needs more. Have her cut more promos. Let's get a story behind her that
Mhm.
she could really sink her teeth into. We could really get to see her personality and things like that. That's the part that's missing. And I agree with you. I agree. All right. Let's get into this John Cena and AJ Styles package. One thing I will say what WWE gonna do, they're gonna do a great video package. They're gonna do a good whoever their videographers are and the folks that put that together, they always gonna do a
Mhm.
great video package to get you ready and hyped for the match. Because remember, this match has no story. There
No.
is no story going into this match. This match was created on social media. Now,
Yep.
for people that aren't on Twitter, you wouldn't know what's going on. So of course they had to make you understand what's happening, what's going on. But this was no story. And this really just goes back into what we've been talking about, and we'll once we really get our Patreon rolling for our folks and our for our subscribers and everything, we'll drop some when we talk about John Cena. It looks like we're going to have a part 2 talking about
Oh
John
yeah.
Cena's heel turn because
Yeah.
they just gave
Just
up,
to
man.
finish
It's
off the
just
year.
like, yeah, they just gave up, man. It's like you would have nothing for the biggest star of the company. This is his retirement tour. And it just feels like we're at his last 5 dates and we're just like, let's just who can John Cena fight? Let's have him fight AJ Styles. It's like you ain't got
Mhm.
nothing better for this man? Nothing? Come on, bro. Now, granted, they're most likely gonna have a great match. They're gonna have a great match. It's AJ Styles, great
Mhm.
wrestler, and then it's John Cena. They're gonna have a great match, but why couldn't we get a story leading here? That just makes me feel like they had no idea. They had no idea. We just gonna throw this together, and then the fans are gonna be happy. What you
The
think?
marks. Like you said, this started on social media. I've always heard, and it's been confirmed even by him, that John Cena has never asked the company for any matches. He's never suggested any
Nope.
storylines. He kind of just always rolled with whatever they handed him on a platter. Hey, John, we want to put the title on you. All right, dude, let's do it. Hey, John,
Yeah,
we want
let's
to
do
take
it.
the title
Yep.
off you. Let's do it. Hey, John, we want you to face this guy at this pay-per-view. Hey, let's do it. Hey, John, we want you to lose the title and we want you to pick up the IC title.
Sure.
All
Let's
right,
do it.
cool. Let's do it. All right, we're going to take that off you. Then we're going to put you in this other situation. He just was like, yes, 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 yes. So this is his final year. And finally he says, you know what? I never do this, but AJ Styles, because he has such great history and such great matches with AJ Styles. He's like, hey, I want to do it one more time before this thing is over. And he
Yep.
deserves that. He's earned the right to say, hey, I never do this, but I'm gonna cash in this chip right now because I've
Yeah.
never done it before.
Yep.
And it's sad because this is his last year. If he didn't do this, Who would he be facing?
We have no idea because they haven't set up anything. You squashed this. You had
It's
Brock
like
squash this man at WrestlePalooza, and you set
Mhm.
him up for nothing. There
Yeah,
was no setup for nothing, no tease
yeah,
for somebody else or anything like that. You set him up
right.
for garbage. What?
So here's the thing. John Cena wasn't there last night. This is a go home show, right?
Yes.
And they already got a negative report from the ESPN reporter about the
Yep.
last pay-per-view, right?
Yep.
So this is a chance for them to kind of redeem themselves and their
You would think.
go home show. AJ Styles is there. John Cena's not there to promote what's about to
Yeah.
happen. And
It
AJ
wasn't a part of
Styles
his
says, "Hey,
dates.
we don't need a story. We're just gonna kick ass. We're gonna have whatever he said. We're gonna have a great
Yeah.
match, which I know is gonna be a great match, right? That
Yeah.
we know that. But promotion, you cannot go around promotion. Promotion is important, man. Promotion is
Yo.
very important. Some people are spending money for this ESPN app. Like, you got to
Yep.
promote this thing. Make me want to spend that money every month. Make me want to
Exactly.
spend that. Don't just throw it up in the air and say, "Oh, they're gonna come. They're gonna come." Yeah, all right. We'll see, and we'll see what kind of reviews you get this time around.
The issue that WWE has is that they think as a company that WWE is a babyface as a company, and that's not true.
Hmm.
That's not it. They think that the company is selling everything when we know it's the people, it's the wrestlers
The
that are
stars.
selling the tickets. It's not the company on a whole.
Yeah.
It's the wrestlers. We
Yeah.
come to see Roman. We come to see John Cena. We want to see Cody Rhodes. And if you
Hmm.
don't promote these folks in there, that's going to determine if I'm going to go to this show or not. When I looked on WWE.com, it just came through and they said that that was intentional to say Roman is going to kick off this show. So
Yeah.
that's telling you,
Yeah.
you tune in to Monday Night Raw,
And tune
Roman
in
is
early
going to be
because
there. Yes,
he's kicking off
he's
the show,
kicking
meaning
off
he's
the show.
starting the show. So yeah, that's how you're supposed to do it. That's how you're supposed to do it. That's promotion 101.
Yeah, yeah, and I think WWE shot themselves in the foot when they exposed all of John Cena's last dates, like
Mm-hmm.
all of his dates. So it's
Yeah.
like now you got to do things around. And I know
Yeah.
John Cena's a busy guy and things like that,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that was the issue. They should not have put
He
that
can't
out there.
promote. He's yeah.
No,
Yeah.
everything is surrounded around his dates. So
Mm-hmm.
what I heard on they were talking about how they may potentially do a like a tournament type of situation, and whoever wins that tournament, they will be the ones to face John Cena in his last match.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious on if that's true. I'm curious on how they're gonna do it, how that's gonna how that's gonna go down. Because of course, if they do something like that, you don't technically need John Cena to be on the show to promote
Mm-hmm.
something like that.
Hmm.
But we'll see what they do with that if that's the direction they're gonna go. I think it's interesting. It kind of sucks because again, you already telegraphed that John Cena only has what I think is what 4 appearances now after Crown
Yeah.
Jewel. I think it's only 4 left.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just we've talked about this a lot. We're gonna have to talk about this again. I just feel
Yeah.
like for the company guy, like they did him so wrong. It
Yeah.
just felt like they didn't have nothing for him after they turned him back face. They had
Yeah.
nothing for your biggest star of the company. You had nothing for him?
After they turned him back face, they didn't have anything for him when they turned him heel. This has
They
been a
didn't.
disaster of a year,
Yo,
bruh.
they didn't,
This
bruh.
has been a disaster of a year for John Cena. This is
Oh
saddening to me because
my
I'm a
God.
John Cena fan. I respect John Cena. John Cena held down the company for many
Yeah.
years. When all the big
Yes.
stars left, The Rock left, Stone Cold left, Triple H slowed down, Shawn
Yep.
Michaels left, The Undertaker
Yep.
slowed down.
He
Like
held it down.
he held this company down longer than all of the biggest stars that me personally hold above him. And I
And
have to keep it
consistent.
real.
And he was consistent. He was
Consistent on the mic,
consistent
in
with
the
it.
ring, everything. So this is his last year, and they really, really fumbled this, bro. They really, really, really
Bro.
fumbled this. This is
Big
terrible.
time fumble. Big
Terrible.
time fumble, man. It's like, come on, fam.
So
Like,
AJ
you ain't got nothing for this
Styles,
man?
I know they've had great matches in the past. One thing I like about seeing Cena and AJ Styles is that Cena brings out a whole different moveset. He shows his more technical side. He doesn't just
Yeah.
play the hits with AJ
Yep.
Styles. He actually shows that he can actually wrestle. And he doesn't use those tools in his toolbox very often because he is who he is. He doesn't have to. But
Yeah.
he shows that, wait a minute, I can actually wrestle. I'm not,
Yeah.
I can do the other style too, but I got moves. So
Yeah.
that's what I love about him and AJ Styles. So they're gonna put on a clinic, and I'm glad that this is happening, storyline or not, and I'm
Yeah.
actually looking forward to seeing it. So
Yeah. AJ's gonna bring, just like with Cody and John Cena, that their last match was really good. AJ's gonna bring the best out of John Cena as well with their match. So I'm definitely looking forward to this match as well, but it really would have been better if there was a story. But it is what it is at this point.
So who should win?
I mean, does John Cena needs a win? Does he need the win? I guess now, but you know what? I think this is I think the issue is because they just had John Cena get squashed by Brock. He technically does need the win, even though AJ should get the win, because based off of that video package they showed, John Cena beat AJ Styles quite a few times. So really,
AJ beat him too, though.
No, he did. He did.
Yeah.
He definitely did. But I think John Cena I think he has one win over on AJ. I want to say he does. But do you want to give John Cena two losses?
I don't see it that way. I see John Cena on his way out, and it doesn't matter if he wins or loses at this point in his career. As long as he has a good match. I think if they put on a clinic and they have a really good match and then AJ goes over at the end they both look strong, I think it's a win-win. But I don't think John doesn't need a win. Just because he got squashed, nobody cares about that. John doesn't need this. I think AJ is still an active wrestler. He's still on the roster.
They shouldn't have done it. It shouldn't have happened.
What I care about it too, I'm saying like that's kind of in the past now. Unless he's going to see Brock again before it's all said and done, which I don't think he is. I don't think they have enough, PLEs left for him to see Brock again just to get his lick back. It's like, that's the past. He's going to have a great match with AJ Styles. I don't think he needs to win. I think they just need to have a good match, put AJ Styles over, and keep it moving.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. All right. So this whole thing leads to, there's a backstage interview with AJ talking about the match with him and John Cena. Judgment Day, run up on AJ, and basically that turns into a not triple threat, but it turns to a 6-man tag team match where we already kind of talked about them looking for another partner, which they found Penta. So it was Penta, AJ Styles, Dragon Lee versus Dominic, Finn Balor, and JD McDonough. I will say this is the first time they talked about wanting to get the tag team titles and have a match with AJ Styles and Dragon Lee versus the Judgment Day. They got to get those titles off of the Judgment Day. I heard a report that they've only defended the titles like twice since they won them in June.
Yeah.
They haven't defended those. I'm like, if you're not going to do nothing with those
you never
titles,
see them,
get them off.
Yeah, I can see that because most of the times you see when those two fight, Finn or McDonough?
Yeah.
What's his name? Yeah.
JD McDonough.
They're always in like a solo match, a singles competitor match.
Yeah.
Usually when you see them on Raw, so they don't really defend those titles, to your point. Very
They
often.
haven't.
They have a lot of matches, but it's not necessarily tag team matches.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into the whole CM Punk, LA Knight, and then eventually Jey Uso showdown. So of course CM Punk comes out. He cuts a babyface promo, calling himself the next world heavyweight champion. We've kind of talked about offline about how we feel about CM Punk. He's not the CM Punk of old. He's PG Punk in my opinion. He's just sitting there.
Punk.
Yeah, he's just riling up the crowd, hit him with the the whole Texas tropes and all that, man. Before we even get more into it, what did you think about Punk coming out there? What you thought?
Literally, the first 2 lines of my notes. CM Punk needs a new gimmick. He needs new music. It's kind of
That music
stale.
ain't going nowhere. That music ain't going nowhere.
Yeah,
That
it
music
needs
ain't
to be
going nowhere.
retired, or at least he needs to have a break from it so that people will miss it. That way, a year from now he can bring it back out. 2 years from now he can bring it back out. But that same
But
music is
he
stale.
could go back to his old music.
He should go back to his
The
old
Cult of
music.
Personality, that was his, that was the music that he had later on. But he could go back
Yeah,
to his old
he
music.
should. He should. Yeah. Give it a
But
break. Give it he needs to dust it off. He needs to do something different, bro. And he CM Punk is great.
yeah,
We all know this.
100%.
If
Yeah,
you watched wrestling back in the day, he is one of the greats. He's
great,
one of the top dogs. This
great.
era of him is a very watered down version of him. To me, it's not working. To me, it's not connecting. To me, it's very stale. And I think he just needs to do something else.
Yeah.
Because he can still wrestle. I mean, he still has an IQ. He's great in many other areas, but he just needs a revamp.
I'm just curious on when the nostalgia is going to wear off with Punk, because he's still getting great reactions and things like that. But I'm just wondering when
Don't follow
that's
the
gonna
fans,
wear
brother.
off.
Don't
Look here,
follow
man.
those people, bro. Do not follow those people.
He gets
Don't
good
listen to those
reactions though.
cheers, bro.
He gets the reactions.
Nah, bro.
He's getting them. He's getting them, man. We can't deny that. He's getting the reactions. So, all right. So he talks about he want to be the next champion. LA Knight comes and interrupts him, and I think he roasted Punk. I think he roasted Punk. He talked about him being a great husband, but then he trashed him as a champion, because it's true. He was only a champion for 5 minutes. It's the truth.
But they roasted each other, because
They did roast
Punk
each other.
came right back at him. It's like, well, you've never been champion, so
Yeah. There we go. I thought it was a good exchange between those guys. I thought it was good.
LA Knight,
And then, yeah,
he just doesn't do it for me. He doesn't belong in a top tier spot. Yeah, I said it.
Okay.
Chop it up, edit it, put it out. No, actually, don't edit it. Chop it up and just put it out the way I said it. Right.
So
LA Knight.
what do you think? What do you think LA Knight's missing? What do you think he's missing? No, for real. What do you think he's missing for him to be in that top level?
Knew everything. I mean, I don't really like anything about this guy.
No, you don't like his moveset. You don't like his
I don't
promo
like anything.
work.
Promo, moveset, wrestling, nothing. I don't. I'm from that school of there was an unlimited amount of stars on the roster, and I compare people to that era a lot. Right, LA Knight would not survive in that era. He would go straight to the bottom of the card with Rhea Ripley. They would be right there at the bottom looking at each other. Right?
Way.
He's there. LA Knight is not on the same level as anybody from the Attitude Era. I just don't. He doesn't belong to me. I'm not a fan. So he comes out and interrupts Punk.
Yeah.
PG Punk, as you call him. I like that name. We're gonna run with that.
Yeah, PG Punk.
Jey Uso comes out, interrupts LA Knight and CM Punk.
Yo, they ripped Jey Uso up, man. They tore him up. They tore him up, bro. I was like, yo, that was bad. I like the promo all three of these guys, but as soon as Jey Uso came out, they tore him up, man. I was like, sheesh. It was like, you need to focus on the tag team titles. You had your chance at the world title. Your chance is gone. It's out of here. Do something else. I was like, golly. And then you already know Jay does not like Knight. So, Jay super kicks him out of here. And then I think at some point Jimmy does come out. I forgot when exactly he comes out. But, Jimmy is holding back Jay because he was about to super kick Punk. And then I think Punk
pushes Jimmy out the way.
Yeah. And Punk decks Jay in the face. And then Jimmy turns around and super kicks Punk. So, I mean, overall, good exchange, but and you know what? The part that we miss, they've done this already. They've all done this before at Clash in Paris. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? You're trying to mess with people's intelligence now. It's like, we've done this already. So you know what?
Monday Night Raw is the place you go to see things that you've already seen before.
It's already happened. It happened already.
You go to see things that it's like a rerun of everything that you've seen before over and over again. That's Monday Night Raw.
So here's my take on this, right? What happened to the days where, like, if you wanted to be a champion, why y'all not directing y'all beef at the actual champion? Y'all talking amongst yourselves, and Seth is just off in the distance worrying about Cody. It feels too respectful for me, where it is like, oh yeah, we're gonna respect Seth because he's about to have a match with Cody. Why y'all not up in Seth's face? Why y'all not saying like, yo, I want a chance at that title. I'm coming for your title. What's up? It's on site. What happened to that? Because we've done this already. This already happened with these three guys, which you've already telegraphed that these three guys are going, one of these three guys are going to be the next number one contender for Seth Rollins' title. But why has nobody directed anything directly to Seth Rollins? Are we waiting until after Crown Jewel to do that? Why can't we start that now?
WWE has this thing that they do. You remember back at WrestleMania, I believe it was, where the main event of night one was Seth, Roman, and CM Punk, I believe.
Yep.
My memory, yeah.
Yep. No, that was it.
And a lot of people were excited about that. And in my mind, I was like,
Except for you.
this seems, I was like, why? It's like these guys are main eventers in their own right. They should have their own matches. Why they keep sticking these guys together? It's almost like they have nothing else to do.
Yeah.
They have nothing else for these guys. Let's just stick them all in the ring together. When I look at CM Punk, LA Knight, or Jey Uso,
yep.
They have nothing else for them right now because Cody is facing Seth. So they have to keep these three warm so that when Seth comes out of this, he can face one of them or two of them or all three of them. Who knows how they're going to play this out. So they're kind of just like, we have nothing else for you guys. So you guys just feud amongst yourselves in the meantime until Seth is freed up so he can come back and start fighting you guys again. And it's just so like, why? Why move on. Move on
to something else. Yeah.
Move on. And then now they got Jimmy in it because Jimmy's Jay's brother. So Jimmy's thrown into the mix as well. So he's a part of that mix. He's not even really tripping over getting a belt, but he's just kind of there because his brother's there.
But
we've never really heard Jimmy say exactly. It feels like he should
at this point
say, hey, I feel like I need a shot too then, since all of y'all want a shot and I should be, but he's just really there because Jay's there.
Yep.
So he's just in the mix because they have nothing else for him either. So, hey, just pair up with your brother.
Yeah.
And
it looks like they don't want to slip back into Jimmy and Jay being the Usos and being the tag team champions again because they don't have nothing going on in the tag division. That's the other problem. They got nothing going on in the tag division because that could be a nice break for Jay and then to kind of boost up Jimmy as well. But then because you know how they do, it's like once you slide back down, and I'm saying it like that, but it's the truth. It feels like the tag team division is a slide down. It's not it's not like a it's not like a lateral move or anything. You're sliding down the card when you're in a tag team. You're no longer looked at as a former, world champion and things like that. Look at
whose fault
Cody.
is that?
That's WWE's fault. That's the company's fault. Look what happened. Look what happened with Kofi. He's not looked as a former WWE champion. Look at Finn Balor. Finn Balor went all the way down the card. He was the first Universal Champion. The first one.
There used to be a time where all titles had a certain level of prestige to them. I remember growing up watching, I don't know if you remember like the television title on WCW.
Oh, yeah. Television title, European title.
The European title.
Yes.
All those titles had prestige. You walked around with the television title around your waist and you were somebody. You were actually a somebody. It wasn't just about the World Heavyweight title or the top titles. It seems like the only titles that really mean anything in this era are the top titles. The World Championship or the WWE Championship. That's it.
Yep.
If you have any other title, you're kind of like, it means nothing.
And then normally with the Intercontinental title, is normally like if you get the Intercontinental title, the next level is for the world title or the WWE title. That's the starting point. It was like, okay, you're an Intercontinental title champion. Okay, the next step for you the world title or the WWE
Yeah.
title or whichever one, but that's
Yep.
supposed to be the launching pad for,
Yeah.
for you to go to that next level.
Right. But while you had it, it meant something. It wasn't just,
Absolutely.
hey, I'm only have this so that I can go there. No, if you had it for a year or two, it meant something. You're
Yeah.
the
100%.
intercontinental champion, and that means something.
100.
So now it's just like nobody even cares about belts.
No, but I mean, we people talk a lot saying that WWE has too many titles. When before I feel like they had way more titles, which you just brought up the the television title, the European title, even the hardcore title. But to your point, they meant something. And when you
Mhm.
saw when you saw D'Lo, when you saw Val Venus, when you saw those guys, you
Mhm.
couldn't tell them that they weren't no champion. That they were
Yeah.
champions. And they were
Yeah.
out there and they were defending those titles. You know what I'm saying? So like look what it did for Eddie Guerrero. He had all those titles. He had the European title, he had an Intercontinental title, and then he got to the world title. So
Mhm.
yeah, man. It's all about the story and how you do it. Like we only care as much as the company cares. And as we see, WWE only puts stock in the top titles. And
Yep.
everything else is secondary, which
Yep.
sucks. So all right, let's get into the next item. Skyy versus Kyrie Sane. Well, before we even jump into the match, there was a video package with Skyy. Of course, it was in Japanese, which I loved it. I loved it. What did you think about the video package?
I don't really care. I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, I liked it. I liked when she was hitting
Yeah.
the Japanese. I was able to read what was going on. She said that, they're not family anymore.
Mhm.
And and then we had the match, which again, Sky, great wrestler. Kyrie Sane, also great wrestler. Wasn't surprised that they were gonna have a great match. You saw Kyrie did not, she hesitated a lot to fight Io, and that played in because, of course, you had on the outside Asuka was, calling the shots. I did like from when the match started, Io ran out there and she immediately attacked Asuka. She came for
Yeah.
Asuka on the outside. I
Yeah.
like that. What I did not like is a lot of great stuff that was going on was happening during the commercial breaks. I
Mhm.
was irritated because when they came back, they showed how Kyrie hit Io with like an Alabama slam on the outside on the apron. Of course, we didn't see it unless you're in the UK. You was able to see what happened. We didn't see it. They just showed a clip. I was like, man, why did y'all show that on the normal broadcast? And why y'all show that during the commercial break? Of course, Asuka interferes and helps Kyrie win it by holding her arms, giving her some leverage, and Kyrie picks up the win. And in the post match, the Kabuki Warriors attack Io. Now, I probably missed it. I didn't hear them say it, but I thought that was weird for them to do a beat down and Rhea Ripley was not there. I just
Mhm.
assumed that she's in Australia because she is from Australia, that she was in Australia doing press, but I don't think they should have done the beat down with Rhea not being there and them not saying that she's not there. I thought
Mhm.
that was kind of weird. What's your thoughts on the match?
Mid Carters masquerading as stars. Once again, I agree with you. Rhea Ripley should have been there, or it shouldn't have been a beat down. It kind of totally goes against the storyline right now,
Yeah,
or it should be some explanation as to why she's not there. Don't just not mention her
exactly.
and then she doesn't show up. Say, hey, Rhea Ripley is not here tonight because of X, Y, and Z. Then it makes sense. Okay, oh girl, she has no help tonight. She
None.
has nobody backing her. So that makes sense. This is the perfect time for them to capitalize and give her a good old fashioned beatdown. But if that's not explained, it's like, where's Rhea at?
And that's what I was thinking the whole time. I was like, "Where's Rhea? Where's she at?
But
Why haven't they said that she's not there because of whatever?"
right. But as far as the match goes, I don't agree that this was a good match. I thought it was kind of sloppy and it seemed very
Really?
choreographed. And it seems like they made a good amount of mistakes in this match. So
I don't.
it just seemed
I can
telegraphed, choreographed, and then it was kind of sloppy. There was some moments where they just didn't connect.
I can agree with it being choreographed, but I really enjoyed this match. I really enjoyed this match. I think you know is one of the she's one of the one of the top female wrestlers. I think she does a great job in the ring, and Kyrie also. It kind of give me shades of how she was in NXT because she was a monster in NXT as well. For me, you could definitely see that they have history between each other as far as being in the ring. There were a few things that I do agree that, didn't connect and there was a little missteps on there, but I thought it was a great match. I thought it was a really good match. But we will move on. Now, this is what I want to talk about. This whole Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman, and Becky Lynch backstage. Now, of course, Becky Lynch is upset because she lost, even though it was a count out situation. She lost to Maxine Dupree, so she was kind of going off, and you could see Seth was really not paying attention to anything that Becky had to say. He wasn't paying attention to nothing she had going on. But she said what she needed to say, venting, whatever. She walks off. Now, I want to say before this backstage, we had another video package where, showing Cody and Seth, I think it was the part 2, and they were talking about their alliance together. And again, WWE, of course, they're going to do great video packages. So there's no surprise by that. But I do like when they telegraphed how, Seth did help, Cody, which we know that he did. They did put emphasis on Seth being Cody's shield. And for the people that don't know, there were 3 members of the Shield. It was not just 2, it was 3, but they're making it seem like it just was 2 members of the Shield, and that's not true. But I actually felt for Cody. I mean, not for Cody. I felt for Seth because Seth has a point in that, in the video package, he has a point. Like, I did all this work. I put my body on the line. I lost my title. I got injured. I helped you, finish your story just in 6 months, you go team with Roman. I like that touch on that. I felt Seth on that. I was just like, bro, I feel you on that. That makes sense to me. Cause it's like, with Seth, it's like, it's always on site between him and Roman. And, I put my stuff aside to help you. And this is how you repay me for me helping you. You just team up with the guy that we were all against. I don't blame Seth for feeling the way that he does. And I like how they showed that in the video package. So before we even talk about the backstage segment, what did you think about the video package?
I don't have the context that you do as far as that whole history between him and Cody Rhodes, so it really didn't mean much to me.
Well, I mean, based off of the video, the package that you saw, I mean, they showed majority of their history together.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care. I don't care.
This guy here.
Yeah, the video package didn't move me.
That thing moved me.
I was more moved.
Fantastic.
I was more by the backstage segment promo.
Okay,
with
well,
him
let's
and
get into
Paul
it.
Heyman,
Let's get into
but I don't really care about a video package.
Well, let's get into the backstage segment. So you see Seth is you see that he's in thought. He's deep in thought, and he's just like, I have to win at Crown Jewel. I have to win. Paul Heyman is just, playing it up and really just being a yes man and telling him what he wants to hear. And it's like, you're gonna win. There's no way that you can lose. And Seth is just like, yo, just cut the crap, man. Like, give it to me straight. What happens if I lose? Like, what's going to happen if I lose? And I like that Paul, he just hit it. He just gave it to him straight. He was like, look, if you lose, you're gonna lose the locker room. You're gonna lose the respect of the locker room. You're gonna lose the respect of Braun Breaker, of Bronson Reed. Everything that you've built since WrestleMania, you're going to lose all of that, and you're going to be nothing but the secondary champion, which is really what they've been doing. And really, that's what they've been showing us this whole time, that, Cody is the main champion because he has the WWE title, and Seth is the secondary champion on
That's how it always is, though. It was always like that. That other championship is seen as a step below the WWE championship.
100%. So I like how that played into this. And then, of course, Seth is like, well, you didn't talk about you. What happens if I lose as it pertains to you, Paul? And then Paul hit him with it straight. He was like, look, I'm going to have to really, evaluate the reason why I chose you over Roman, which I thought that was killer. I thought that was great. I thought it was a great backstage promo between these two guys, which, of course, Paul Heyman is gonna do great at promos, and I really was invested in Seth Rollins in this promo. I think this is the most I've been invested with Seth Rollins in a long time. But what were your thoughts on this?
No, I agree. I think it was a really good promo. I think that Paul Heyman did a great job. And like I said earlier, you can tell there are certain ones of them that are a step above the other. Roman Reigns coming back, you can see a difference. Seth
Yep.
Rollins is star of this era.
Yeah.
I don't know if he would be a
100%.
star of a past era, but he's definitely a star in this era. So you can see the difference. You can see his interaction with Paul Heyman. It's engaging. Paul can spar with him on a different level than he can with a Bronson Reed, because Bronson is not there yet. You know what I mean? Bronson is just not on that level yet. So you saw the difference between their interaction right away, and I thought
Yeah.
it was thought provoking. It was like, hey, I'm gonna lose faith in you if you don't win this. Even me, I'm gonna
Yeah.
second guess. Like, hey, I chose the wrong guy, so he has to win. My question to you is he going to win?
He has to win. He needs it. Cody don't need it because he
Mm.
won last year. He don't need it.
I feel like
I
Cody
mean,
won 2 years in a row,
yeah.
didn't he?
Well, no, 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 no. They just started doing this whole crown just champion versus champion match last year. Yeah, so Cody don't need it. Cody doesn't need it.
Are you sure? It was Cody against Gunther last year, right?
Yes.
And then I thought I could have swore it was like 2 years in a row that Cody won.
Not for this crown jewel, because when they did crown jewel before, it wasn't champion versus champion. They had it was a whole list of matches, but last year was the first time they did this whole champion versus champion thing at crown jewel.
Okay.
Because I think it
All right.
was the other pay per view,
It's the one in Saudi.
Night of Champions. Yeah. Well, they changed locations. So when they started Crown Jewel, it was in Saudi Arabia, but now it
Mhm.
looks like their Crown Jewel is just like any other pay per view because now they're putting it in Perth in Australia now. So it looks like it's just
In
another
Australia.
PLE.
So the one they had year before last, wasn't
Yeah.
that didn't they have one in Saudi Arabia? Who was the champion then?
Was it 2023?
Yeah.
Wasn't that still Roman?
Was it Roman back then?
Was it Roman? I think it was Roman.
Okay. I don't know why I thought Cody Rhodes won twice overseas, but anyway,
I don't know. I don't remember. I don't remember off the top. But
yeah.
yeah, I know they started it last year. That's when he won against Gunther, and then Liv Morgan won her match
Mhm.
last year as well. So it was both of them that won their matches. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I think Nia Jax was the champion also at that time.
The fence with this one, I don't really think that Cody I don't think Seth has to win because he's not losing his belt. It's not like he's going to come back beltless. You know what I mean? I don't think he has to win. I think it would probably give him more heat if he doesn't win because it gives you more of a reason to boo him. And then he can win at a different PLE against somebody else. But they probably are going to have him win because, to your point, he's been losing. So he needs a win right now just to maintain his status as this leader heel of this heel faction. So I can see it both ways,
Yeah.
but they're probably gonna have him go over.
The way they played it up, man. For
It's
them,
like they
for Paul to say what he said in
yeah,
that, like, what happens if I lose, and hit them with the
yeah,
real scenarios, which
yeah.
these are things that, as fans, we're thinking about as well.
Mhm.
He has to win. There's no way he can,
But that
and I
makes
and I
it
feel
predictable, because
yes, it does.
and I hate to keep saying in the Attitude Era, when they did stuff
Yeah,
like that, you didn't know who was gonna win. He would still go there and lose after Paul said all of that. You're like, "Dang, I thought he was gonna win. He still lost?" That's the thing about this era, like, it's so
yeah,
predictable. So we're expecting him to win, so if he doesn't win, we'll be more shocked.
yeah. But okay, so here's my question to you: does predictable always mean bad?
Yes.
No.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. What do you mean? No. Yes. Why would I want to watch something if I already know the ending, bruh? Why?
If because of you're seeing how they got there.
I, I totally disagree with that.
No, man. So
In the Attitude Era, it was so unpredictable. You never knew who was going to win. You never knew how things were going to end. If somebody ran out, it was always a surprise. It was always cliffhangers at the end of Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. It was just always entertainment. You never knew what was going on. In this era, you can kind of predict Monday Night Raw. You can predict SmackDown. You can predict the PLEs. And to me, that's not why watch.
I disagree. I don't think that
I'll be
always
more
means it's
prone to
bad.
watch if I watch PLEs and I'm surprised, like, dang, I did not see that coming. That's gonna make me want to watch the other one. But if I know that Seth is gonna win, why am I gonna watch?
Because you want to see how he gets there. Because as I think as him being a heel, that there most likely will be some shenanigans going on. So it doesn't mean he's gonna win clean, but
well, we
gonna
know
get a
if
win.
he wins, he's not gonna win clean.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't believe the things. I don't believe in predictability. I think that's ruining wrestling.
I disagree. I don't think that just because it's predictable doesn't mean that it's bad. Because you could say when Cody won, everybody predicted that Cody was gonna win. Cody's gonna finish the story and all that. Just because people were predicting that doesn't make it bad.
That's because of WWE. They did a terrible job presenting it. They do a terrible job presenting it. So yeah, you know he's gonna win.
Yeah.
You know he's gonna win. But that, to me, that's a step below. That's a step below what I came from. You never knew who was gonna win back in the day. You were always surprised. They always threw a loophole in there, like, dang, how did they do that? They always do that. Now you know who's gonna win half the time.
True. I'm gonna let you have it. You got it. You got it. But yeah, I'm definitely going with Seth winning. Seth has to win. He has to beat Cody. Especially because Cody's beat him 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Cody beat him 3 times. Seth has not won a match against Cody Rhodes. He got to win. Yeah, he has to win. Now, I've heard some rumors, especially with Paul Heyman saying that, he has to win and he's going to make sure that he wins. Paul Heyman did say, like, you have me, like, you have the Oracle. I'm going to make sure that you win. People have been talking about Brock Lesnar may interfere. If Brock Lesnar interferes, I'm going to turn the TV off. I do not want to see Brock Lesnar interfering in that match, because then that's going to lead to a Brock Lesnar versus Cody. And I don't want to see Brock Lesnar go for a title. He don't need to be going for no title. We don't need to see Brock Lesnar anymore for a good while going against Cody Rhodes. We've already did that. We've already been there, done that. I don't want to see that.
The thing is, where else are they going to put Brock? They've backed themselves into a corner. Brock is too big to face the 80% mid-carders on the roster. He has
But you
to
can say the same thing for Roman. You can say the same. You can Roman.
What do you mean?
That you could put the same. You could say the same thing for Roman. Roman shouldn't be facing no mid carders either, unless you're going to be putting people over. And I think that's the same thing for Brock. Brock needs to be putting people over, but they're not going to put him in that position. They're going to just continue putting him in the. What?
I think Brock would lose to Cody in a good match, a good back and forth. I could see him losing to Cody.
But
I could see it. He puts people over all the time. So what's so special? I mean, I could see him losing to Cody.
Who, Brock?
Yeah.
Who's Brock put over?
Brock has lost to a lot of people, bro. What do you mean? You act like Brock just wins every match that.
No, I'm not saying that he does, but who has he put over?
You talking about in his whole career?
Yes. Who Brock put over?
A lot of people. Cena, Orton, a lot of people. He's fought everybody that you can think of, and he's lost to just about everyone. The Undertaker.
Well,
Triple
those
H.
are two things. There are two issues that I've had with Brock Lesnar, and I think that's probably why I am so jaded on Brock Lesnar. When Brock Lesnar ended the streak, I don't think Brock Lesnar should have ended Undertaker's streak. Didn't agree with it. Hated it. And when
I agree. He didn't need it. And then, he was already a star.
No, exactly. He did not need it. He did not need to end Undertaker's streak. And
Roman
when they
needed
had
it more than him.
Yes. What? Yo.
Yeah. I'm there with you, bro. I'm there with you.
We're gonna have to get some sounds in here, man, because that's some drop one of Clues bombs.
I think we have that as
I
think we have that as one of our general topics to discuss.
Yes.
So we'll get into that for sure.
We gonna have to. We gonna have to.
But how do we even get on Brock? What were we talking about?
Oh, because I was saying that
so
he may be.
Brock might come out to help.
Yeah.
I can see that happening. And then, of course, to your point, it's going to lead to a match with him and Cody. It'll be a perfect
Yep.
segue because they have nothing else to do with Brock right now. I mean, he's just kind of out there lingering.
And they have nothing else
So,
for Cody either. They have nothing else
yeah,
for Cody either.
bro,
They
this
have
is
nothing for
why I
Cody.
say they have no stars.
No.
They have no stars. So they have to keep putting CM Punk against Seth Rollins and Seth Rollins against Jey Uso and Gunther. When Gunther comes back, he's going to be in that mix too. It's
Oh yeah,
just they have no
100%.
stars. They have all of these,
Yeah.
and I'll call most of them upper mid carders, not even real
Yeah.
stars. They're all kind of feuding with each other because they have nothing else to do with them.
Because they have not invested in a lot of these guys and to put them in those positions to make them stars. It's what we know. It's all about how you position these folks. If you put people in storylines and you make people care about them, they will become stars. The Rock didn't become a star just to become a star. He worked his way to become a star. Same thing with Stone Cold. He became a star because they put him in those positions so he could become a star. WWE be so lazy and they don't create stars. That's the problem. That's the problem. And I remember,
I will say
I
this though.
remember
I will
that.
say this just to debate a little bit. Some of it
Yeah.
was on them though. Those guys you mentioned were just great. Stone Cold was great. The Rock was great. So it wasn't all WWE. I would say 70% WWE, 30% of just this dude is just great. No matter what we do with him, just put a mic in his hand, he's gonna to take off. And I don't think they have a lot of that today. They don't have a lot of Stone Colds today. They don't have a lot of Rocks today. They don't have a lot of Triple H's today. They don't have a lot of Shawn Michaels today. They just don't have that.
What I will counter to that is at least back in the Attitude Era and even part of the Ruthless Aggression Era, at least they allowed those guys to go out there and do their thing.
I will give you that.
Versus now, everything is like, everything is so like, here's your promo. This is what you like. And not saying that Vince didn't do that. Not saying that Vince didn't do that when he hit him with like, hey, this is your promo and this is what you're going to go out to say. But you were able to see certain guys kind of, tweak it and you see more of their personalities and see what they can do with the character versus now. Like,
he gave them free reign. He gave them free reign. If something didn't work, you could go to Vince and say, listen, this ain't working. Can I just get 5 minutes out there on the mic and just, let me sink or swim? Because this thing isn't working. And Vince would be like, all right, go ahead. So Vince gave them the license to just be creative. If what he gave them didn't work, he was humble enough to step back and say, all right, it didn't work. The gimmick that I gave you didn't work. I'm going to let you do you and see if that works. Because I'm willing to try anything at this point. Sometimes it worked.
But he wouldn't do that with everybody, though. Not everybody.
He did that with most of them. He did that with Kurt Angle. He did that with The Undertaker. He did that with The Rock. He did that with Stone Cold. He did that with all of the big stars. He let them kind of carve out their own paths.
He did for that time. And then after that, it was just like once all those guys kind of phased out and moved on and moved around, all that stuff was dead. That was not happening no more. Not to that
He did it with Cena.
magnitude.
Cena, same thing. Go out there, grab the mic, talk, be yourself. Create your own intro music. Create your own look. You don't like wrestling in tights? All right. You want to wrestle in jeans? Wrestle in jeans. I don't care. Do it. Do you. Create you got to give it to Vince, bro. You don't like to give it to Vince, but you got to give it to Vince, bro.
I know. I don't like to give it to Vince, but I will. For those aspects, I will give it to Vince because remember, you weren't watching wrestling when it was terrible, and that was also under Vince.
I'm watching it now. It's terrible. I'm watching it while it's terrible.
God. Yeah. That's another topic we gonna talk about on our Patreon when we get that launch, as far as like with Triple H, man. I really was hopeful for Triple H as far as his booking and everything, but a lot of this stuff and again, going back to Vince, a lot of the things that work was still remnants of Vince booking.
Yeah.
To Bloodline, that was Paul Heyman and Vince. To be honest with with all of that. So it's like it's a lot of things that, of course, they're tapering off now, but that was kind of like the last remnants of, Vince McMahon and his booking.
And I'm glad you
Really,
said
what
it,
has
because what
yeah,
what 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 if that's the last remnants of Vince since the
and Cody,
bloodline
and Cody, and Cody. Yeah,
and
the whole
Cody
Cody,
Rhodes? All
yeah,
right,
whole
so that's
Cody
two
Rhodes.
things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
since the bloodline and Cody Rhodes, what else has happened has been that impactful in WWE?
Nothing really. Nothing
Exactly.
really when it comes
So
to the
what does that say?
yeah.
We need Vince.
No? Okay. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
We
Whoa,
need Vince,
whoa.
bruh. Clip
Whoa,
clip
whoa,
it, and send it out. We need Vince.
whoa, whoa,
We need
whoa.
Vince.
I
AI,
don't know
hey
about that,
AI,
man.
clip this part right here. We need Vince.
Yo, this is
Vince
wild. Yo,
McMahon, the wrestling mind that he had, bro, the storytelling, having the right pieces around him. This show would not be the way it is if Vince was still back there, bro. It would not be. This show is garbage.
yeah, because Vince would come in and just throw the script out. He would just throw everything out. I was like, all right, we're just gonna wing it now. It's like, oh, whoa, whoa.
That would be better. That would be better than what's going on right now.
That's what
Go out
Vince
there
was
and wing
doing.
it. Yeah,
Vince
go
was
out there and
doing.
wing
That's
it.
what he was doing.
Yeah.
He was doing that.
And
He was
that
just
goes back to what I was saying, that the Roxanne Perez's of the world, right? We can both look at her and see that she has potential, but she just needs to have that mic in her hand. Vince would look at her and be like, "Hey, you're missing one thing. I need you to go out and cut a promo. We're not going to put you in any matches right now. Go out there with the mic in your hand. Both of y'all, Rodriguez, both of y'all go out there and cut a promo and get in front of those people and win them over as heels. That's what's really going to make you into a star. Once you start to get out there and talk, but they're not talking. They're just having matches. All of their talking is backstage.
Yeah. I will commend. I think the positive, especially for this episode, is like how they did highlight the women. I mean, the first hour and a half was women's matches, which I thought that was great. But you also did telegraph the entire show based off of the opening. It was Roman and Bronson Reed, and then we went into the whole things with CM Punk and LA Knight and Jey Uso. So you saw what the show was really surrounded around. But as far as matches wise, the women was holding down the matches. All right, we kind of went off, but it was a needed to go off situation. But let's let's continue on. We won't take too much time. Judgment Day versus AJ Styles, Dragon Lee, and Penta.
Dirty, dirty Dom. Dirty, dirty Dom. Dirty, dirty Dom. Dirty, dirty Dom.
Here we go.
Marks.
Get at this man in the comments, man. Calling y'all Marks.
I will say this though.
Guy?
I thought it was a decent match.
Yeah.
I thought it was a pretty
I
decent
enjoyed
match.
it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Thought it was a decent match.
I mean, those guys are great. Because again, all those guys are great wrestlers. They're all great wrestlers. You can see how much Dominic has been. He's been killing it, to be honest, man.
Yeah,
Like
he's a
you
star.
can't tell him nothing, man. Yeah, he's definitely
He's a star.
He's definitely a star. They have him as a double champ right now. One thing that I did catch, I don't know if a lot of people caught, but Finn Balor wasn't really in the match that often. I didn't really see him in the ring that often. I saw him tag in. He did a move, tag out. He did some backs like around the ring, stuff like that. But he really wasn't in the match. I hope he's all right. He's not like, nursing an injury or something like that. But I did peep that. I was like, I don't really see him doing much in this match. But overall, a good match. As the match is going on, you see Rusev coming out, causing some interference, and Penta hits him by accident with the super kick. So it looks like there probably will be a program between Penta and Rusev at some point.
Yeah.
Or maybe they'll do a triple threat match for the title, for the Intercontinental title with Rusev, Penta, and Dominic. But yeah, I thought it was a great match overall. And then we already talked about AJ and Cena, because after the match, he goes on the table and basically says, I don't know why y'all looking for a story. We don't need no story. It's gonna be a good match. Check us out at Crown Jewel. I mean, that's that's really what he said. That's really what he said. You know what I'm saying? Any more thoughts on this match?
No, I thought it was entertaining. I
Yeah.
like Dom fan. In this era, he's definitely a star. And of course, AJ Styles is a star. So having those
100%.
two in a match is going to be good because I think AJ Styles, he's a ring general, so he's going to make sure everybody looks good.
Yeah.
So you can see the step up when you watch this match.
Yep.
And I like what AJ did at the end. I mean, he had no choice. That John Cena's not there, so he had to promote it in some way. I like how he started to say something on the mic at the beginning of the match. And then I actually thought that was kind of brilliant. And then the
With
heels
the
came out,
Judgment Day?
interrupted him.
Yeah.
Judgment Day
He was
music
pissed.
came out. That was actually kind of dope. If I have to give kudos to whoever thought about that, that was dope because he was supposed to cut that promo at the beginning, but he couldn't because they cut him off. And at the end, he was like, now he said something like, now that that's out of the way and I won't be cut off this time or something like that. So I thought that was dope.
No, something to that effect. Yeah. No, I did peep that. He looked pissed when Judgment Day music hit. He looked pissed. He was just like, come on, man. I'm just trying to cut this promo real quick. Why y'all have to come out right now? I thought I did think that was funny too.
That was a good touch.
Yeah. All right, let's get into the main event, the Usos versus CM Punk and LA Knight. So before the match, there was a backstage exchange between LA Knight and Punk where, Knight is telling Punk, try not to get pinned out there. And of course, they're hitting them with the can they coexist type of thing. Because, there's animosity between those two guys. I thought it was interesting with the Usos when they came out to Jay's music and not the Usos music because they had them play the Usos music last week when they were coming out as a tag team. So I thought it was interesting they switched back to Jay's music. But I thought this was a decent match. Honestly, I thought the Usos were kind of working heel in this match. I thought they was working pretty heelish to
I'm gonna be honest. I tuned out in this match because I'm just not interested. So I couldn't tell you who was working heel. I couldn't tell you, but I just this group of guys, this group of wrestlers, I'm just so tired of seeing them. I want to see CM Punk feud with somebody else. I want to see Seth Rollins feud with somebody else. LA Knight, he can go to NXT or something. I don't know, but
no,
I said it. Clip it and put it out.
Come on, man. No.
Yeah, LA Knight needs to go to NXT or TNA or something. Because I think he could be right now he's in a big pond, right? He could be the big fish somewhere else, I feel. But right now he doesn't fit in. He doesn't need to be there.
Let me school this guy since he doesn't know.
Go ahead.
He was a TNA guy. His name was Eli Drake. Yes.
That's where he came from?
Yes.
He needs to go back there.
No.
So he's going to be at home. He's going to be right at home. That's cool. Yeah, let him go back. He doesn't belong. He doesn't belong, bro.
No. So, his name was Eli Drake. So actually he came from actually NWA. He was in NWA for a bit. And then he went to TNA, and that's where he was doing the Eli Drake stuff. So basically the same thing he's doing as LA Knight, he was doing it
NWA.
as Eli Drake. Yeah.
As in WCW?
No.
NWA.
No. NWA. That's another it's an older school promotion, but they were doing
WCW. They became WCW.
No, but they broke off again.
They broke
so
off
they were
again?
doing some so they were doing some stuff, on YouTube back during the pandemic and things like that. So a few of the guys came from NWA. Like, when Cody was working independent, he was the NWA champion. Who was the longest reigning champion was Nick Aldis, the SmackDown general manager. He was the longest reigning champion for a while. I think he was a champion for like a few years. And he held it very he was one of those champions where he didn't even like put the belt over his shoulder. Like he held it, in his hands. Like it was like, I think it was like 10 pounds. It was 10 pounds of gold. He always used to call it, but that's another. He was a phenomenal wrestler. I'm surprised they haven't had him in a match yet. Regardless, he's a beast too. But so he was Eli Drake before he became LA Knight. They actually gave him a weird gimmick when he came over to NXT because he used to be with Maxine Dupree. He was another, I forgot what his name was before, but Triple H switched him to this LA Knight, back to this LA Knight character. which kind of worked better for him. But yeah, I wouldn't throw him back into NXT, man. He's good. He's good. I don't know if he will be champion or he needs to be champion, but I think he's good. I think he's a good talker. I mean, he doesn't have that much of a move set, but I think he's a good talker.
I think we're in this era where mid-carders, this is the era where the mid-carders can shine because there are no stars. And that's how I look at him. He's a mid-carder at best, and he's shining. He's in a main event spot because there are no true stars around. So who else are you going to grab? You're going to grab the top mid-carders. That's it.
But that's not their fault. That's not their fault.
I don't know. Like I said, Stone Cold was great because Stone Cold was great too. I don't know if LA Knight can just be great if you gave him the mic and said, get out there and just do your own thing, cut your own promos and figure it out. I don't think he's not gonna rise because he just doesn't have that oomph.
I think he has the chops to do it. But remember, even with Stone Cold, he had great supporting characters as well. So he can't just do it by himself. And I think that's also the problem. When you have somebody like a LA Knight, even like a Punk or whatever, they have to also have good dance partners. They have to have people to compliment him. What made Stone Cold was Vince. He was the top heel. They played off of each other. Not saying that he didn't have great matches with like Bret Hart and those guys, which he did because we were able to see Stone Cold's technical wrestling skills with somebody like Bret Hart because they had a great rivalry as well. But it really wasn't until Stone Cold was going at Vince and really showing like, F the authority and, F my boss and all that, stop a mud hole and, all that stuff. That's when he catapulted because he had a great character in Vince.
And that goes back to my point. There were stars everywhere. When he was done shooting with Vince, he had Triple H and DX.
Correct.
When he was done, he had Shawn Michaels. He had The Undertaker. He had Kurt Angle.
100%.
He had Chris Jericho came later. Booker T came later. Like they had stars back then. Today, I almost feel like people like LA Knight and the Usos are bringing, instead of CM Punk bringing them up a notch, they're bringing him down a notch. CM Punk is looking like a mid-carder right now because, bro, CM Punk is looking like a mid-carder right now because he has no other top-tier guys around him.
Because there's nobody left, and WWE keep relying on the stars of the past instead of creating new stars. That's the problem. Create new stars.
And they can't create new stars. In this era with this team of creative, they can't.
Can't do it. Yeah, agreed. 100% agree.
But yeah, this I tuned out because I don't really care about this group. So I really don't have a take on this. I think it's lazy. I think they throw these guys together because Seth is focused on Cody right now. He's got a big match coming up. We have nothing else to do. We need a main event.
Yeah.
We had Braun and Braun for the last, what feels like 10 weeks. We need to switch it up a little bit. CM Punk's coming back tonight. Let's switch it up and have some other people in the main event.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
I don't like when the pay-per-views, especially like these gimmick pay-per-views, dictate the pacing of the show or dictate what the show does. And that was kind of like my point when I talked about earlier, how if these guys really want the title, why y'all not up in Seth's face? Or why y'all not up in Seth Rollins' face? Like, why y'all just talking amongst, Punk and Knight and Jey Uso? Y'all just talking amongst yourselves like Seth ain't around. Seth is back in that locker room. Why ain't nobody busting up in that locker room saying like, yo, I want to fight you. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are we not doing stuff like that? Like showing how much of, a badass that these folks can be. They're not doing that. So why can't we have multiple plates spinning? I think that's my point. Why can't we have multiple plates spinning at the same time? Yes, we know Seth Rollins is going to face Cody at Crown Jewel, but why can't we have these other things brewing also at the same time? So we know like, oh, he also has to look out for these other guys versus them just fighting them. They're just fighting amongst themselves and they're just trying to fight to see who can be the number one contender to go at Seth Rollins. I'm like, come on, guys. What are we doing? We can have a whole show on how WWE has not created new stars, which we probably are going to do that and talk about that because I have so many thoughts on that. It's just ridiculous at this point. And this is why I feel like, WWE was riding that wave around not this past WrestleMania, but the one before that, with the whole Bloodline rules when The Rock was the final boss and all that. They're riding that wave, but if they don't do something drastic, it's just gonna go right back down again. Which I don't think that's what the company wants, but they have to do something and really create some stars here, man. We got to get some more stories going on because as we know, WWE is story driven, but they gotta get some more stories in here. They gotta make some more top guys because as you said, it's just all these mid carders, and you can't even really say they're upper mid carders. They're just mid carders because of how they're slotted in. Like, why are we looking at this situation where Cody has nobody? There's no opponent. There's nobody for Cody to face after he faces Seth Rollins. There's nobody over
They're
there.
gonna just
He
throw
just
somebody
faced
at him. That doesn't make sense.
just like they
They
did with Drew.
and
He just had a match with Drew McIntyre. That meant nothing.
yeah, and it might be Brock because if Brock comes
Bruh.
out to help Seth, it might be Brock, and then that'll be his
I don't
next
want.
match, and then after that, we'll try to figure it out. Yeah,
I don't
where's
want to see it.
Gunther at? When's Gunther coming back? He's injured?
No, he's not injured. They just don't have nothing for him. So that is who I heard. I mean,
Has
they
he been
just
on
don't have nothing
TV?
for him. No,
Has he been on SmackDown at all? Because he's
nope.
on SmackDown, right?
No, he's on Raw.
He's on Raw? Oh my God. I
Yeah,
haven't seen Gunther in so long.
yeah, because he hasn't been back since he lost. He has not been back. Because remember at SummerSlam, Gunther. Remember Gunther took the belt back from Jey Uso, and it was Gunther versus CM Punk. CM Punk finally beat Gunther, had the title for 5 minutes, and that's when Seth Rollins cashed in. So we have not seen Gunther since SummerSlam.
Yeah.
So that is who I heard that will be John Cena's last match.
Yeah,
If
I
they
saw
do
that
some
too.
sort of tournament. Yeah, if they do some sort of tournament for whoever will face John Cena for his last match, I heard is rumored to be Gunther. Now, I think that would be good for Gunther because he would have to win that. Because, I mean, do we need to have John Cena win his last match? Do we need that?
No, he's not going to win his last match.
No,
Every wrestler, every one of these guys, they go out on their back. They go out looking up at the lights. That's their way of paying it forward to the business. So we know that Gunther is gonna win. But
not everybody.
Who didn't? Who retired on pinning someone? I'm trying to think.
In WWE, that's how they do it. But in AEW, Sting went out winning. And I will say this, that is one of the reasons why. Who? Sting?
Yeah. Like really retired?
Yes. He's officially retired now, yes.
Is this a Ric Flair retire and come back and go to another company and wrestle?
No. So I will say this. The reason why, there's two things that happen now is because of Sting. Sting did the same thing. It was either last year or the year before. He did the same thing that Cena did now. He announced his retirement. He said, look, I'm going to wrap it up. This is going to be my last year. This is it. Sting won the tag team titles with Darby Allin. He did not want to win the tag team titles, but they said this makes sense for the story. You're winning. And then they dropped the titles after that. But he did get the pinfall win on his way out. Because of Sting, that was the reason why Goldberg came back in and was like, hey, I saw what they did with Sting over here. I want to have my last match properly in WWE with you guys. So that's why that happened. And because of Sting also is the reason why John Cena announced his retirement as well. Because I think there was another interview with Kurt Angle where he also feel like, man, I wish I could have gotten a better retirement run than what they gave him at WWE. So because of Sting,
he didn't retire. He didn't retire in WWE.
Who? Kurt
Angle. He retired in another company.
Well, remember they did the whole retirement. He did. He left again. But they did the whole retirement thing with Kurt Angle because you remember he was GM for a while and he went on like a whole retirement run. He had matches with like Rey Mysterio and those guys. I think Kurt Angle's last match in WWE was against Baron Corbin, which was trash. Of course, it was great for Baron Corbin, but it was not a great match for Kurt Angle. For that to be his last match was not a good match. But yeah, so
was it slated as a retirement match or was it just a match and then he went to another company?
No, it was slated as a retirement match. It was slated as a retirement match. at WrestleMania. I forgot which WrestleMania it was, but it was slated as a retirement match. But yeah, so I'm saying all that to say it was like because of Sting and how he had a proper retirement, because because you remember when he was in WWE he got hurt. It was Seth Rollins hurt him. Seth hurt him, he threw him in there for a buckle bomb, and that's how he got hurt. So he had to retire, from in-ring competition there. But, he did the whole stem cells, same surgery that Daniel Bryan and Christian and Edge and those guys did. He did the same thing. So, he had another run, and he did the similar thing like John Cena, announced that, hey, I'm retiring. This is my last year. They did not do the dates like they did with John Cena, but he did say, this is my last year of wrestling. After this is it. So yeah, man. All right. So this was a decent episode of Raw. I think this is a good build going into Crown Jewel, the pay-per-view, PLE that's going on Saturday. Good women's matches overall. We'll see what's going on with this Bloodline stuff. And I think that's Monday Night Raw.
To Kingz TV, baby.